Hello everyone, in this simple lesson, we will learn how to illustrate quadratic equations and solve quadratic equations by extracting the square root. Okay, Sakura, the card captor here is with you. Let us help her factor the difference of two squares. Factoring the difference of two squares is one of the patterns in factoring or solving the quadratic equation. So here we are given the expression x squared minus y squared. So are we really given a difference of two squares? Now look at it carefully. The term x squared, is it a square? Of course. The exponent is 2, the same with y. And are we really looking for a difference? Yes, because the symbol between x squared minus y squared is minus sign. So meaning to say we are asked to find the difference of the two squares. You know, math is a pattern. Now, you are told that if you are given an expression x squared minus y squared, your answer or your factors should be x plus y and x minus y. So let's have an example. X squared minus 16 squared. Is x squared a square? Yes, because of the exponent 2 and 16 a square. You know that the number is a square because you can extract the square root. So can you extract the square root of 16? Yes, very good. That is positive or negative 4. Now, I told you just a while ago that in mathematics, it is very much important that you know patterns. Now, let us have our answer now. Remember that it should be pattern from the given. Alright, so is it pattern from the given? Of course, yes. Don't forget to write the proper variable. If you are given x as your variable, then write x as your variable. Now, let's have here an example. X squared minus 256. What is the square root of 256? So, extract kasi that, the two squares. So, you have to extract the square root of 256. So, what's that? Okay, you can use your calculator if you wanted. Your answer should be like this one. X squared plus 16 and x minus 16. Again, that's x plus 16 and x minus 16. So let's have another pattern. Another pattern or the next pattern is factoring perfect square trinomial. If we are given x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, how can you identify that it is a trinomial? Okay guys, that is a trinomial because we have three terms. We have here x squared, here 2xy and y squared. Each term in a polynomial is separated by a plus or a minus sign. So look at our example just a while ago. X squared minus 16 is a binomial. The two terms are x squared and 16. It is separated by a minus sign here. So it is a binomial. There are two terms. Now in our given here, it is a trinomial. Why? We have three terms separated by plus signs here. So how do we factor perfect square trinomial? So it should go in a pattern x plus y squared. So again, in mathematics, learn faster if you see the pattern. So just follow this pattern. Okay, so y squared and the other one which is only separated by a minus sign here, take note of that, is just almost just the same. Okay, now the answer should be, or your answer or the factor should be x minus y squared. Now look at that carefully. Here, the operation is positive because we have a positive sign here. Okay, look at that very carefully. If you are given a positive sign for the second term in a trinomial, the factors, your factor or the answer is in positive also, x plus y. Now in our second example or second pattern here, negative. So your separator or the operation that you will be using is also negative. Alright, so let's have an example. 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. So the separator or the operation between the first and the Second term is positive. So what do you think are our factors? So use that pattern. I'm sorry for writing. I hope you can still see it. Our answer is 2x plus 5 squared. So did we follow the pattern? Yes, of course. So now you'll be asking here, Mom, how did you get 2? So 2 is from here. Extract the square root of 4. So how about 5? 5 is from 25. So extract the square root of 25. So that is 5. Okay, so that's simple. Just follow the pattern. Okay, follow the pattern and you will never get lost. Alright, now if you really wanted to check if your 2x plus 5 squared is really 4x squared plus 20 plus 25. So what you should do is multiply 2x plus 5 squared or 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 5. You can use the FOIL method or you can use the long method. So you learned that already in your lower mathematics. So let's have another example. X squared minus 12x plus 36. So again, we'll just be using the same pattern. Remember that the first term and the second term here is separated by a minus sign. So your answer should be in minus sign also. So what do you think is your answer? Did you get the same answer with me? I'll not writing the correct answer, but you can comment or you can message me if you know the correct answer. Okay, let us now teach Sakura the card captor on quadratic equations. Remember that a quadratic equation is an equation in which the highest power of the variable is 2. Simply saying or mathematically speaking, the highest exponent of the variable that is x or y or whatever variable is your teaching using is 2. So as you can see, nauna na po dyan yung extracting the square root na term because we will be focusing on that pattern for this lesson. Okay, so for our quadratic equation is usually given as ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is also the standard form. So before extracting the square root, before solving the quadratic equation in any method you wanted, your given or the given should be rewritten in this standard form. Okay, so for example, 4x squared minus 7 is equal to 3x. Is that already in the standard form? So as you can see, it is not. Your equation is not equated to 0. Therefore, your equation is not in standard form. So how do we do it? So this is, I have written here, the standard form of the given quadratic equation. So how is it done? Okay, for the ax squared. So look at the given carefully. Where is 4x minus 2? So it is on the left side of your equal sign. So walang mababago sa kanyang sign. So where is your b? So we are writing in standard form. Okay, so to identify our ABC, so I told you, your A is here, your B is pointed also. So look at that pattern. As I am always saying, math for me is really a science of pattern. So I learn math easier because I have to see the pattern. Alright, so let us now identify. Is our A really 4? Yes. B is negative 3. Yes, of course. Please include the sign. So it is very important that you include the sign. The same with your C. Alright. So, say for example, we are given 7x is equal to 3x squared. So how would we write that in standard form? Okay, so that's very good. So 3x squared, what we have just transposed is 7x. Now it is very important and it is much easier to solve your quadratic equation if your first term here is in positive. So yung 7x na lang yung ating inilipat. So when a term is transposed, if it is positive on the left side of the equation or this symbol, no, the equals or the symbol, the equation symbol. Now, if that positive 7x is transposed to the right side or beside this 3x minus 2, the positive sign will be a negative, will become negative. All right. So, what should be our answer? Again, please message me if you learned something and just transpose and give me the standard form of our given. Now, there are many ways to solve quadratic equations. Okay, so we have factoring, graphing. So for now, let us focus on solving quadratic equations by extracting the square root. It is very useful to use the square root principle in solving, and we are given this equation x squared minus is equal to c. Remember that if we are given like this equation, c should be a real number. So how do we use the square root principle? Alright, extract the square root of c. And the answer should be in positive or negative c, or sometimes read as plus or minus c. Meaning to say it could be plus c or positive c or minus c or negative c. So let us have, so remember that one. So again, just follow the pattern and you'll never get lost. Let's have an example. X squared minus 36. So how do we use the square root principle? Okay, so extract the square root. What do you think is the square root of 36? So just follow the pattern. Okay, we have this pattern. Follow the pattern. Is 36 a perfect square? So if it is a perfect square, then just extract the roots of that perfect square, which is 36. So x is positive, negative 6, or plus or minus 6. Meaning to say, positive 36 is a solution or an answer to x squared is equal to 36, and negative 6 is also a solution. So we have two solutions for x squared is equal to 36. So let's have another one. So how about x squared is equal to 50? As you can see, 50 is not a perfect square. O, diba? Sige nga, extract nyo nga, may number ba na pinag-multiply mo ng dalawang beses, ang sagot is 50? So remember, multiply, not add. So let us factor out 50. So what do you think are the factors of 50 wherein one of the factors can be extracted or in its square root or is a perfect square? Alright, very good. So that's 25 minus 2. Is 25 a perfect square? Yes. So extract the square root of 25. And our answer is x is equal to plus or minus 5, the square root of 2. So as I have told you earlier, follow the pattern. Nakita ninyo yung pattern? Okay, follow this pattern. If you think this lecture is a bit fast or faster for you to remember everything, you can play and replay this video. And I am more than willing to help you. You can message me or ask me to make another video of this kind. Anyway, there are still following a method to solve quadratic equation. Alright, so let's have the third example now. Okay, let's have the third example now. Okay, so this is a bit confusing for you. No? Now, ma'am, teka lang, bakit y? Hindi ba pwedeng x? Now, your teacher will not be always giving x. Okay, x is not always used. Ganun. Okay, so y. So let us use y here as your variable. So how do you simplify that one? Just the same? Isolate y? Okay, so ano na ang nangyari dito? Bakit naging ganyan? Use the addition property. Okay, so that you can isolate your y. Negative 2 here. Again, this is your equal sign. So negative 2 is transposed to the other side of your equation. Kasi when I am teaching math, I just use patterns. So negative 2 will be positive 2. Nagbabago po kapag ka lumampas ng equal sign or the symbol. No? Pagka lumampas ng equal sign, nagbabago. Diba? Tatandaan po natin yan. So negative 2 will be positive 2. Okay. Bakit nagkaroon tayo ng plus or minus 18? Nilagyan lang po natin ito because we are using the square root principle. Okay? We are applying the square root principle. The extract the square root of 18 here. So, ayun yun siya. And then, y divided by 3? Y divided by 3? Because the constant of the variable y is 3. So, we have to divide that one. So, your tip is use the addition property of equality to isolate the variable. So, what's the next step? So, let us simplify once more. So, ano lang ang nabago? Yung positive 18, finactor out po natin. Okay? Nag-isip ulit tayo ng factors ng 18 na merong isang perfect square. So, 9 times 2 is still 18. Huwag nyo munang gagalawin yung inyong 2 at 3 para hindi kayo malito. Okay, so just extract 18, the square root of 18, factor that out. So, 9 times 2 is 18. 3 is a perfect square. Kaya po ganyan yung ating naging third step. Okay, what's the next step now? So, extract now the square root of 9. Huwag pong wawalain itong plus or minus. So, ilalagay nyo pa rin po yan. Okay, now if the teacher asks you, I told you there are 2 solutions. Or there are 2 values of y. So, why did you give me just the one answer? So, your answers, you just write this separately. So, sasabihin mo po, teacher, ang isang sagot, or you just write it. If you are not in your online class or you cannot answer your teacher directly. So, the first answer is, the first factor is y is equal to 2 plus. Yung plus lang po muna yung gagamitin. 3 square root of 2 divided by 3. So, that's one answer. That's one factor. The second factor is 2 minus 3, the square root of 3. So, that's the other factor. So, you have 2 factors already. So, thank you so much for listening in this very simple lesson. I hope you understand. Again, if you get any question, just message me. You can send me a message in my messenger. Thank you so much.